Hi, everyone. Today, we're working on a grammar worksheet that explores the fascinating social structures of chimpanzees. We'll read a short text, spot the mistakes, and correct them one by one. Let's begin. In this task, we have a short text about chimpanzee social behavior with several underlined errors. For each one, we'll identify the mistake type and write the correct word in the space provided. The text contains 8 common grammar mistakes that test your understanding of subject-verb agreement, conjunctions, prepositions and tenses, plural nouns and reflexive pronouns, bare infinitive, adjectives versus nouns, articles. The first sentence says, chimpanzees live in large communities that ranges in size from 15 to 120 members. But remember, the subject is communities, which is plural. So the verb should also be plural. The correct form is range. A community may be big, or individuals constantly break off into smaller subgroups of 6 or fewer chimps. This sentence needs a contrast conjunction, because the second part gives an opposite idea. The word or doesn't show contrast. The correct conjunction is but. It is used to show contrast between the large community and smaller subgroups. Still, from time to time, there will be an ingathering of the larger community, and chimps will get together to play, breed, and groom. We use a before words that begin with a consonant sound, and hun before words that begin with a vowel sound. Here, gathering starts with a consonant sound G, so the correct article is A. According from the Jane Goodall Institute, relationships between chimpanzees can last a lifetime. When we use according, the correct preposition is to, not from. This is a fixed expression. So, it should be according to the Jane Goodall Institute. Let's look at this sentence. According to the Jane Goodall Institute, relationships between chimpanzees can lasting a lifetime. The bare infinitive, the verb without to, is used after modal verbs, such as can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, would. So in this sentence, relationships between chimpanzees can last a lifetime. Can is a modal verb, and modal verbs are always followed by the bare infinitive. Now, let's look at error 5. Mother-daughter relationships are especially strong, as mothers stay with their youngs until around the age of 7. The word young is already plural in this context, when referring to offspring. We don't add an s. Look at error 6. Siblings and pairs of male friends were also prominent. The subject is plural, siblings, and pairs of male friends, and the sentence is describing a general fact. So we use the present tense, are, not were. Next, look at error 7. In fact, smaller groups communicate between itself frequently, with chimps calling out over longer distances through the pant hoot, a type of verbal communication. When referring to plural subjects like groups, we use the reflexive pronoun themselves, not itself. Let's look at the error 8. Grooming is one of the most important behaviors that keeps chimp communities close through developing their friendships and reassuring others in their group. Here, importance is a noun, but we need an adjective to describe behaviors. We need a word that modifies the noun. So, the correct adjective is important. Let's look at some key takeaways to keep in mind when writing. First, subject-verb agreement. Always make sure your plural subjects go with plural verbs, and singular subjects go with singular verbs. Next, word forms. Check carefully whether you need a noun, adjective, verb, or adverb in each position of your sentence. Then, prepositions. Learn fixed expressions and common preposition patterns, because they often don't follow a rule. Finally, Verb tenses. Use the present tense for general facts and the past tense for completed actions. Remember to check these elements when editing your writing. Practice makes perfect.